His eyes were mine. His face was mine. And I watched as his body was torn apart. The metal shaft from the mining machine bit through his yellow and orange clothes into his flesh, bolts flying, but his eyes were on me all the time. The world swayed beneath my feet, pitching like a ship going through Rip Drive. Distant shouts, panic, blood. It all flowed around me, but I couldn't hear, nor see anything except for him. His body was thrown across the tunnel and with a sickening crunch collided with the rock wall. Blood splattered. Noise around me was loud but unintelligible. As I walked towards the body in a daze, I stood over the body. Its face was now marred beyond recognition. I looked at his forephone, a screen tied to his forearm. A number flickered. 12:45 p.m. Wednesday. Today was Tuesday. Below the time and date, the beginnings of a message could be seen. If you are reading, the screen sparked and went dark. Slowly, I could understand the voices around me. Poor bloke. 2 steps back and I could have grabbed him. This is why we need to use lasers. Everyone step away. Ahmadi and Herod, wrap the body and take it to the hospital. I'll find out who it is. Mallory. Mallory! Yes. Mallory was my name. Yes? Our operator regarded me with sympathy. You can move away from the body now. Justin, clean this mess up. Anyway, off with a lot of you to the mess hall. It's supper time. I want you to roll call sharp tomorrow. That counts for you too, Jake. I trembled as I touched its body. It was solid, not a figment of my imagination. I did not know whether that was better than the alternative. I walked with the rest of my crew. What did it mean? A chill swept through my body like the brush of death. Somehow, I knew I was going to die. 18 hours 45 minutes to death. After getting some grub, I sat heavily on the bench in the mess hall. Alert! A CME has hit. All 4 phone clocks have gone forward 1 hour and 2 minutes. Set clocks to 1800 hours. I looked at my forephone and set the time back to normal. I felt cold, the chill of the grave. I pushed my food around my plate, revealing a logo printed on the base of the plate. Moonlit Limited. What a damn awful job to spend my life in, away from my wife and kids. What a waste. Very interesting why these coronal mass ejections mess with our timers. My operator, Cody, sat across from me. I nodded, still staring into my plate. Death. So far, but so close. First time encountering death? No, I said curtly. Mother died years ago. I couldn't even go to her funeral because of the distance. Well, everyone must face it eventually. Deal with it on our terms. What do you want, Cody? I snapped. What was wrong with me? I started apologizing, but he waved me off. I have to deal with grumps all the time. You want the truth? I've seen people like you. They see death and realize what it was. They become afraid. Week after week, month after month, they're afraid of anything that has the potential to hurt them. After a year or two, they even take their own lives. Ironic. I scowled. He does not understand. No one did. I'm not one of them. He nodded. I believe you. But everybody faces it eventually. He took out an antique lighter, the kind that creates sparks to ignite the gas. When my wife and I married, We knew that she wouldn't survive to 40. She had a heart condition, but she lived and laughed like no one else. The lighter sparked, a little flame dancing on the tip. Our having children weakened her immensely. One day, I found myself next to her failing body. She was holding her toddler and laughing. I asked her, "How can you laugh?" And she said, "Life is too short to be sad." The flame died. Cody nodded, satisfied. There are many ways to face death. Some are better than others. We cannot choose when to die, but we can choose how we die. He left. After a minute, I stood and walked to a window, gazing outside. The surface of the moon glowed with a silvery light. The buildings shone a dazzling white. I raised my arm and switched on my forephone, swiping to my wife on Intersolar Chat. I looked through our texts, my mouth bitter even as I smiled. Then I started writing, setting that at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, the message would go through unless I cancelled it. If you are reading this, then I am dead. Know that I will always love you and will miss you. I stopped, feeling nauseous. If I die, then what will come after? Paradise or nothingness? I tried to imagine it, feeling nothing, seeing nothing, hearing nothing. No, that is not right. I would be non-existent. I felt a headache coming on. No, I will not die. I will stay away from the tunnels until 12:45 p.m., then I will see what happens. I won't die. 12 hours to death. Tossing and turning. Hot. Sweating. I couldn't sleep. The wet crunch of dead bodies sounding over and over. Eventually I got out of my cot and walked to a curtain. The snoring of other men behind me. I quietly opened the curtain. The blue orb of the earth shone in the dark sky. I wished that I could see stars. I felt small and afraid. Tomorrow, I might die. I have never been one for religion, preferring the solid to the unknowable. But now, I wished I truly believed in God, in a paradise for those who deserve it, even if it was false. Which was better, hoping for heaven or believing in nothing? Hope or truth? If it was true, was it so bad to believe in something so benevolent? Or was it naive to hope? I do not know. Damn it, I don't know. Time to death. The stench. The crunch. These noises followed me as I ran through the corridors of stone. Behind me, the sound of snapping bolts and rushing air followed me. From the shadows in front of me stepped a hooded figure. At its side it carried its scythe, and the light illuminated a skeleton's face underneath the hood. It raised its scythe. I tried to run, but my legs could not move. I tried to scream, but fear froze my throat. The scythe fell. 6 hours 45 minutes to death. My body felt stiff as I got out of bed. Other men were awake, getting ready, showering. I walked into the bathroom and splashed water on my face. The mirror above the sink showed an unrecognizable, haggard, pale man. I looked pathetic. I searched the cupboard for clothes and had one pair left. It was yellow, the exact same clothes that my double had worn. My hand trembled as I took it and got dressed. Fear clawed at my insides. I rubbed my red eyes. I won't die. I won't. 3 hours 45 minutes to death. You cannot stay in the mess hall the whole day, Mallory, Cody said. I will. You can dock my pay, fire me, but I'm not moving. Cody sighed. You look like crap. Fine, you can stay here. But get to work as soon as possible, you hear me? I nodded. 2 hours to death. Shivering, sweat dripping into my eyes, I clutched my coffee cup. 1 hour to death. I paced around, breath ragged. I tried to eat, but the food was ash in my mouth. I was like a caged beast. 10 minutes to death. I sat, trembling, glancing at my phone. This was it. I shouldn't be so afraid. I was not in the tunnels. Nothing could kill me here. But I was still burning with fear. 1 minute to death. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. My heart was beating like that of a small animal when seeing a predator. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Nothing happened. I held my breath. Seconds ticked by. 1 minute passed, and then another. Finally, reality sunk in. I let out a cry of relief. All this pain and suffering for nothing? Death won't be taking me today. Blessed relief bloomed in my chest, anxiety vanishing. Feeling hungry, I ate a delicious meal. After that, I went to my room and cleaned myself up. 30 minutes past death. I almost skipped like a child down the tunnels. I saw the tunnel opening up to a room, the same room where my body double died. The mining machinery whirred and chugged. My spirits dampened a little. Something sick seemed to settle in my stomach. A step in front of me was where he had died. My phone beeped, and a voice broadcast came through. All Moonlit personnel, a CME has impacted, causing all timekeepers to revert back to 12:45 p.m. Turn your clocks back to 1:15 p.m. I stood there, frozen, looking at my phone as it glitched and the timer changed before my eyes. 12:45 p.m. Wednesday. I heard bolts shearing. I watched, as if in slow motion, the bar of steel descending on me like the reaper's scythe. I tried to leap backward, but I knew that I would not be fast enough. For some reason, I was not afraid. I was so damn tired of being afraid. I remembered that pathetic face in the mirror. I will not die like that. I could not choose when I die, but I could choose how I die. I now understood. I will greet death like an old friend, parted for a lifetime. A place we all started at, and a place we will all go. My back was straight, my eyes clear. I thought of my wife and children. I closed my eyes. Iron hands grabbed me from behind, and I felt myself thrown to the tunnel floor. I opened my eyes to find myself still alive. I looked up at the man, standing over me, who was frowning. Lucky that you weren't a step forward, else I couldn't have grabbed you. He turned and stared at the machine. 2 in as many days? Impossible. I got to my feet, dazed. I will never forget. Of all the mysteries in my life, this one took the crown. Impossible described everything that had happened the last 2 days. Perhaps I will never get the answer to my questions. All I could do was guess. Time travel? Illusions? Omens? Warnings? I had no idea. Do you? A Timely Death by Veronwë.